G'day, it's Nicola. I've got a book review for you today. It's called We Are the Stars. It's by a Lone Australia winner, Gina Chick. It's her wild memoir on love, connection and letting go. The show today is brought to you thanks to the Forever Young Autobiographies membership, which brings together courses, community and coaching. I'll have a free trial for you if you hang about towards the end of the show. Now, the full title of this book is We Are the Stars, a misfit story of love, connection and the glorious power of letting go. It's an exceptionally moving memoir and it's set with a wildly unconventional Australian childhood. Now, Chick goes on to blaze nightclubs, debts, wilderness, cancer, death and more. The memoir has been put out by Summit under Simon & Schulze, and it's picked up the Australian Book Industry Awards New Writer of the Year. Now, Chick wrote this after she won the Alone Australia episodes, and in this show I'm going to go over exactly what it's about, what's interesting if you're to pick up and read the memoir, and also what we can take away for our own life story creating. So let's jump in. What is We Are the Stars all about? Well, there's 448 pages. And it begins when Chick is growing up in the south coast of beautiful New South Wales. Her parents are two teachers at high school, and she's got two younger sisters. And she then moves to university when she finishes school. She meets her husband Lee, though, at a trucker camp in the US a fair bit later after some very high and very low periods of her life. Now, they move back to Australia, and Chick is actually diagnosed with breast cancer basically at the same time that she finds out that her and Lee are pregnant. Now, she goes on to successfully give birth to a baby girl called Blaze, and she recovers from breast cancer. But unfortunately, Blaze develops cancer and dies at age 3. So, horrific story. But Chick and Lee do find new purpose together. They go on to found and run rewilding camps in the bush, and Chick goes on to teach dance around the world. Now, there's lots of interesting things in this book. It's hard to pick only just a few to highlight for you. But number one was I really found it interesting that Chick's grandmother was writer Australian Charmaine Clift. Now, Chick's mother was given up for adoption at birth, so they only found this out after Charmaine had passed away. But really interesting story for her mother and Chick for her grandmother. We also learn in the book that Chick met Hugh Jackman, the famous Hollywood actor, when she was at university, before he was famous, and they continued to be friends to this day, and he's a wonderful advocate for her book and endeavours. Most importantly, though, I found reading this book super interesting in that Chick highlights the importance of life's lessons and getting that on board. Number one for her was grief, and that she says it is a gift that we must say yes to. But finally, what tips can we take away from this memoir for our own life story creating? I think the big one for me, as Chick was a new writer, she's an award-winning new writer, is that you don't need permission to start writing. You know, it doesn't have to be a contract or something like that. You can do it for yourself. You can do it for your friends, your family. You can do it to celebrate a life. You don't need anyone to give you permission to do that. The other thing was that the way Chick laid out this book, it highlights that you don't need to write every single year of your life. In fact, she names her chapters by years of her life, but it's not a chapter for every year. It's sections or highlights from her life. So she might have a chapter of being 6, a chapter of being 10, all the way to a chapter of being 40. So I think when you're writing a life story or any life story project, is you're focusing on the key events, the key memories, the key milestones, and they come together to tell a larger story. The third and final thing that I think is a really good example when you're reading this memoir is that it's a fantastic example of sensory writing. It really does take you as a reader. You soar and you float along with Chick wherever she is in her story. And here's a quote when she's recovering from hospital. So, hospital memories fade like coral tree leaves under the relentless scouring tongue of the dry season to blow away in the sea breeze. So yeah, really emotive, really sensory. We can feel those leaves. We can taste that sea breeze. So there you go. That's a little bit of a book review about award-winning summit publication, We Are the Stars. And it really does help us understand life's big lessons. So to recap, I've been over a little bit about what it's about, things that could interest you just as a reader, and also things that you can take away for your life story creating. But I think most importantly, you will take away from this memoir is the point that you can see challenges in life as gifts for the taking. Now, this show is just a summary of a larger article I have about it, a larger book review over at my website. Head to foreveryoungautobiographies.com/We Are the Stars. Over there, there's more quotes, there's links to buy the book, pictures of Chick, and there's much more. So please check it out. And while you're there or while you're here, I'd love to know, did you have a favourite book as a kid? Because in We Are the Stars, Chick really loved the Jungle Book. It really spoke to her, really understood her. So I'd love to know if that was the case when you were a kid. Was there some book that really kicked it off for you in reading, or is one that's just memorable for another reason? Drop me a line, or you can send me an email anytime for anything to do with life story creating at foreveryoungautobiographies.com/contact. Now, I mentioned the free trial to the Forever Young Autobiographies membership. You can get that by going to foreveryoungautobiographies.com/membership. As I say, no risk. You can jump in, have a look around. There's resources, there's a community forums area, and you also have access to me for coaching. You'd be mad not to have a look. Join us for storytelling and helping you create a lasting family heirloom. I'll be back again soon with another topic, and it would be simply amazing if you could follow, subscribe, like the show, leave it a review. And until then, happy creating.